Combo Nation, this is Grown B, and I can finally say after several years that I think I was wrong about skill-based matchmaking. I think I first started to kind of hear this terminology used back in Black Ops 2 when some of the hottest guys around weren't getting the same type of gameplays that they were used to getting in the previous years in Call of Duty, and so people started talking about skill-based matchmaking, that the game was putting you into lobbies where everybody was around your same skill level or better. And so me as a casual player and a lot of other casual players were like, oh, well, you're just mad because you actually have to go against competition. You're just upset that you're not getting thrown into parties with people who don't know how to play the game. And now you can't get 200 kills in a team deathmatch, and that makes you upset because now you have to find another way to make good content. And so, I'm not saying that I'm completely rescinding that original thought process, because some of those guys truly felt that way. They didn't want to play against competition. They just wanted to play against a bunch of kids, a bunch of people who, trying out the game for the first time or playing it super casually, and they just want to be able to pound those kids into the ground so they could post on YouTube and say, look, I got 200 kills against these nobodies. But the reality is there is a greater aspect of skill-based matchmaking that a lot of people are complaining about, and I'm just now starting to understand. So I think when people play games like Call of Duty, I really think that this game works best as a casual game. Not something that people are looking to go pro at. I understand that there's going to be meta to the game. So yes, there are going to be games that generally, guns and weapons and streaks and perks and class setups that can be optimized to ultimately work better in situations than everything else. That's okay. But I think what happens is when you try to play the game casually, and the game recognizes you as this certain skill level, and now it thinks, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw you into games with other people that I think are at this skill level. Now it becomes less about being casual and more about running into a bunch of people who are playing the game the exact same way. And so what that does is that kind of takes some of the casual nature out of it, because in order to compete, in order to have fun, you basically have to do what everyone else is doing. And to be honest, I've done this multiple times throughout other Call of Duties where it has been mainly Modern Warfare and a little bit of Cold War here in the beginning. But also, you know what? Everybody wants to use the MP5, everybody wants to use the MP7. I'm gonna use the MP5. And I go on and I begin to have, better gameplays. I use the MP7, I begin to have better gameplays. But ultimately, people don't always want to do that. Way earlier, back in kind of the Call of Duty's, I guess you can call it Call of Duty's prime. I don't feel like Call of Duty is in its prime right now, but I had friends and we could do challenges. So me and my friend Obi Venom would do pistol only challenge. We'd go through the whole game just using pistols. And yeah, we may not have the highest score or the most kills, but we would get cool and interesting kills and find a way to use those type of challenges to have a lot of fun. Those type of things, challenging yourselves in new, interesting, cool ways, are not possible with the way that the skill-based matchmaking is set up. And I think the saddest thing about this skill-based matchmaking system is the fact that I don't think Call of Duty really understands what it really means to be a good or bad player, because I don't think that I'm that good of a Call of Duty player, but sometimes I still find other ways to contribute to my team. So maybe I'll have a high score, or maybe I'll still find a way to get a couple of streaks. And so maybe I'll have a high KD for that game, or a high score for that game, or a high score per minute for, a few games. And suddenly it seems like Call of Duty thinks, oh, he must want to play against nothing but people who jump with the MP5. Let's do it. And now I'm frustrated. I'm not having any fun because I'm just kind of an average casual player. And for whatever reason, the formula and algorithm that they are using tells them, put them in there with the pros. And I think that there's a big difference between adapting to your enemy and becoming your enemy. Because for me, I think it's actually fun to look at the way another team is playing and then find a way to make revisions to my play style while still playing as myself, still being the player that I am and doing what I enjoy in the game, but finding a way to incorporate all that into a way that can help my team win. Because I don't want to be stubborn and just play a certain way and have my team suffer. But that's totally different from saying, oh, that whole team is using MP5 or that whole team is using MP7 or that whole team is using this. I now must do this or I'm not going to have a chance. And as a result, my team is going to lose. Those are different things, and it's not fun to play as the latter. Me and my friend, who was I playing with? I think I was playing with my friend Strike. Yeah, it was just me and my friend Strike Freedom. And we played one night and we were like, wow, we're having so much fun. We're having great games. We played for about 2 hours, which is kind of one of our longer sessions these days. And it was a good, solid night. The next day we get on, and it's like the skill-based matchmaking algorithm looked at our previous night and said, these niggas must not have played anybody with an MP5 or a sniper. Let's put them against people with MP5s and snipers every single game that they get on today. And let's make sure that they do not want to play this game at all. And it's so crazy because you can clearly see when you've gotten tripped into the skill-based matchmaking algorithm. It's easy. It's very easy to say, oh, last game I didn't have a guy standing just outside of the range of the spawn flip and quickscope me with a sniper every single time I spawn in. It's easy to see that, oh wow, I wasn't playing against people who were jumping and hip firing and getting easy headshots with the MP5. Like you start to see, wow, this game has totally different play styles and changes to the guns, and the overall demographic of the game is different than it was in the previous game. It's clear. It's easy to see that. And once you realize, here we are, it's almost like you got to get off because you know Call of Duty just messed up your night for the next 6 to 10 games. I think if skill-based matchmaking were a scary movie killer, it would be Jason Voorhees, because you can get away from him for an extended period of time, but you always have to be looking over your shoulder, wondering if he's coming, wondering if you're about to get thrown into a game with all the type of annoying players using the most pristine meta that they learned from watching Drifter and Exclusive Ace. And again, just to put things into perspective, the fun matches that I do have, these aren't matches where I'm going like 20-2 or 33-1. Like I think those days of having those excellent, like crazy gameplays, those are over for me. Like I think Call of Duty has kind of changed and evolved and grown into a different type of game with a different type of playstyle, and I'll just never be that guy that's getting those type of playstyles again. But I've had a lot of fun in games where I went 28-22. I've had a lot of fun in games where I've went 30-20, or maybe I went 19-18, but I had a lot of objective kills, and I ran through my streaks a couple of times and just had a lot of fun. Like, having fun for me isn't always about getting the most kills or having a really high score. It's just the way the flow and pace of the game grew and how I was able to adapt the skills and the guns that I want to use to that environment. But when it becomes one of those things where you have to do what the environment has created, which is, hey, we're playing like nothing but sweaty pros in here. And if you don't want to do it, you got to get killed. Like, I'm perfectly capable with being third or fourth or fifth and just having a really interesting game than just always being the top guy. And I just think that skill-based matchmaking has messed that up for a lot of us. I think I really do have an understanding of what they're trying to do by incorporating, loose or strict skill-based matchmaking into some of these Call of Duties, but ultimately they are alienating a lot of the community. And for that reason, I feel like there's time for some things to be changed. If you like the video, like it. If you think someone else might like it, share it. And if you want to see more, we really hope that you would subscribe.